Let's talk more then about this drought with Emma Howard-Boyd. She's the chair of the National Heat Risk Commission in the United Kingdom at the London School of Economics. Thank you for making the time to speak to us today here on France 24.
Thank you very much. Good to be here. And I suppose what I'd like to start by saying is this isn't just an economic issue, as your footage has just made so clear. This is a health issue, this is a security issue, this is an economic issue, and it's impacting millions of people across the UK and across Europe.
Indeed. And I suppose let's talk first of all about the United Kingdom, because in that report we gave that really rather extraordinary figure of 45 million people living in areas impacted by drought at the moment. I mean, can you just give us a sense as to what that looks like on a day-to-day basis for people? You talked about economic impacts, health impacts. Tangibly, what does that mean?
At the moment, it is about the incredibly parched landscape that we are seeing across the country. And for those living under drought restrictions, not using things like hose pipes. So limited until the next phase. So incumbent on us all to think about how we are using water. Where it is really impacting is the farming community and those businesses that are reliant on water as well. And we have seen in some parts of the country water supplies cut off because of other impacts that are taking place. I can see images of parched land. We're seeing as our land dries out that can help lead to cracked pipes and therefore water supplies being cut off and people literally living without access to water for hours, if not days. We're having reports about that. That has health impacts. It also has impacts for those businesses that can't keep open when there is no water available.
You talked about some of the individual measures that people should be taking now, something like a hose pipe ban, for example. I do wonder, though, do individual measures like that really make a difference? Because sometimes when we have broader conversations about climate change, recycling, I think for some people can feel rather futile because you think, look at this, the global scale of the crisis we face. When it comes to this, though, to the drought, do individual measures really make a difference?
They will make a difference, but they do not replace the need for a strategic plan coming from central government to make sure that in future we are ready for the sorts of events that we're going to see again and again. We have in the UK a national drought group that is coming together regularly and setting out actions that need to take place that will help us through the initial period that we're facing. What becomes even more important is that centralised strategic approach led by government, crossing all departments so that our infrastructure, our water supplies are ready for what we will see happen again and again.
A thought for you, if we can, on the impact on food and on crops. I mean, we've seen crops yellowed and dying, certainly here in Europe as a result of the drought. Something like 9 million tonnes of grain are expected to be lost on the continent. What kind of impact is that having, or will that have, on food supplies, on food prices as well, potentially?
Well, we're having similar impacts here in the UK. Farmers are telling us how their crops are suffering too. And given that often we are, during periods of short supply, reliant on other countries and Europe in particular, there is no doubt that this will feed its way through into higher prices this autumn. And again, it's something that we need to think about preparing ahead of the next significant rainfall event so that we're storing water on the land to help through periods of dryness in the future, but also recognise that this will have an impact on many people who are already struggling with the cost of living.
All right, Emma Howard-Boyd talking to us there from the UK's National Heat Risk Commission. Thank you so much.